Hello everyone! How's everyone doing today? Love to hear that. It's been a crazy times, but we're still going strong here at Coby's Brain, trying to output a lot of content about what's going on inside of me. We hope you're liking it. We hope you're finding it to your liking. And with no further ado, let's get started on this week's episode. We are going to get started with one of Coby's favorite television shows that's currently on. It's called Atlanta. Many of you have likely heard of it. I think we reviewed it last week. Yeah, give it up for Atlanta. So I watched the second season like immediately after finishing the first one. So that's why I'm pretty much reviewing it so soon. So personally, did not think that this season was as good as season one. The episodes were, a little random, less of like a story per se, and more just like kind of random occurrences that very well done and very interesting and insightful in a lot of ways. But at this point, I want to know what happens to Paperboy. Shout out Paperboy. All right. Enough. Next, we're going to keep talking about that for a little bit. Basically, some other issues I kind of had with this season. Again, it did not get quite as good a review as the first season did. Earn's negativity, really, troubling at times, especially when it comes to his relationship with Van, who's like his girlfriend. I want him to be a little nicer to her. But I get it. He's going through a lot. Okay. Additionally, episodes talking a lot about everyday racism Black folks experience. Some were really funny, like Barbershop. If you haven't seen that episode, definitely watch that one. It's really funny. Also pretty standalone. Again, these episodes are not all necessarily related to one another. I mean, they could exist as standalone episodes more or less. Other episodes, this one called Teddy Perkins was just terrifying. I had nightmares from it. But yeah, great standalone episodes, but didn't really progress that much in terms of our story of Paperboy. So although we liked Atlanta here at Coby's Brain, it got less of a high rating than it did last time. Atlanta Season 2 has been given an 8 out of 10. Still a great review. All right, good job, Atlanta, and shout out Donald Glover. We would love to have you on the show one day. So if anyone wants to make that happen, please do it. Next up, we have... And it's interesting. I've been watching a lot more TV shows. I didn't even watch... I watched one movie this week, but been watching a lot of TV shows. I love TV. TV shows are very amusing. An example of an amusing Netflix TV show is Paradise PD, which we actually really like here at Coby's Brain. The show is raunchy and absurd to a fault, probably, but so entertaining. It's I can't believe someone wrote this and people were like, yeah, let's put that on TV. It's hilarious, though. It's just so raunchy and just scatologically driven humor. So stupid, but really entertaining if you want some mindless comedy that's going to take your mind off whatever it is you're watching. Yeah, Netflix show. Probably didn't love the fact that it was so story-centric. The story was pretty stupid. The gags and the ridiculous characters are the reason the show's funny. So I think if the show is a little bit more like Family Guy, where each episode is super standalone, unlike Atlanta, like Atlanta Season 2 kind of was, I think that would probably benefit the show. Regardless of this, we here at Coby's Brain still gave the show a 7.7 out of 10. That is a positive review. I really enjoyed Season 2 of Paradise PD, but I don't think we'll be seeing another season of this show. I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually even looked into it, but I've heard something. People don't really want cop shows anymore. So we'll see what happens with that. Next up, we have the new trending Netflix documentary. Gotta check it out if you've got some time. And if this review ends up being positive, 2020, this Social Dilemma documentary was released, directed by Jeff Orlowski. Fascinating, honestly. Really, it's all the buzz, especially in Silicon Valley. Everyone's talking about it. Some people think it's great and super insightful. A lot of people, actually, who I know in the tech industry, are not happy with the way it portrays the tech industry, which is probably true to an extent. But I don't know. It definitely opened my mind to some things about how basically social media companies have a financial objective to keep us engaged as much as possible. They know what it takes to do that because they know everything about us, and their AIs, they're just like geniuses. Our engagement allows them to sell us to advertisers, and then these advertisers influence our behavior. The apps are designed in such a way so that they're legitimately addictive and causing all sorts of mental health issues. They control the information we receive, and so they only give us the info that we want. So obviously we're not going to see other perspectives, and they're changing our behaviors, and it's AI doing this, and AI is smarter than us. So it's problematic in a lot of ways when these AIs have financially motivated goals. It's just we probably shouldn't have built capitalism into the AIs that humanity has created, but I don't know. I don't know if I totally buy the fact that the argument that the film makes, kind of about that social media is responsible for a lot of the problems in America and the polarization, I guess. It's totally possible. It's a valid theory, but I don't know. I think there's a lot going on besides that that we need to look into, and not just totally blame social media, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind Facebook if you guys just weren't constantly trying to sell me things, but that being said, it's free. Maybe there should be a paid version of it. I don't think I would pay that though. I don't know. Complicated stuff. Coby's brain will likely continue to examine such topics revolving around AI and ethics and social media, because it's really interesting, and we're just now starting to understand what all this stuff means and what its implications are. Regardless of how you feel about social media and the impact that it's having on us, Coby's brain gave this documentary an 8.2, which means we recommend it. And so if you're at all interested in what we've been talking about, watch this film. I think it's an important discussion point in today's day and age. Thank you, Netflix. Thank you, everyone who made that film happen. Next up, we are transitioning to Coby's music blog, which has been, a lot of changes are going on with Coby's music blog, just because I've been listening to Spotify a lot lately, so they've been recommending me great music, so I haven't really been listening to albums all the way through. Much more to be said about this Spotify situation and how freaking smart it is. They recommend great music. Shout out to Spotify. However, I did have time to listen to one full album in its complete and utter entirety, and that album was 6ix9ine's latest album, Tattletales. So, if you don't know who 6ix9ine is, very controversial figure, was in jail recently and was released for ratting out some of his associates. So people in the hip-hop scene don't really like him. Most people don't really like him just because he's has a kind of really he's just so controversial. But I don't know, I admire how much of a spectacle his music videos and just anything he does is. look at that image up there. He's just like a kind of crazy looking dude. I haven't seen anyone who looks like him before, and he's flashy, and his music is party music, like big time party music. But people aren't really partying so much these days because of COVID, and so I don't know how well his music fits into the culture that we're currently residing in. But I obviously am pretty impressed by like how big of a deal like his music video releases were, and like they got so many views. I think they set some like YouTube records or something when they were released. Just crazy virality. I liked Gooba and Trolls, but all the other music songs were just kind of like the same. So I don't know. Objectively, not an impressive album. Can I deny that 6ix9ine is like a cultural icon? Probably not. And his comeback from being a hated, like so hated to, I mean, still being hated, but really being successful as that person that everyone hates. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. So, album itself, not great. We gave it here at Coby's Brain a 6 out of 10, which warrants the following reaction. No. However, again, I'm not a 6ix9ine fan. I think he's intriguing, and I'm excited to see. Like, he's not going anywhere. Like, he has just so much publicity and clout, and so it'll be interesting to see what the future of his career looks like. I don't foresee him going anywhere anytime soon. Next up, we have Coby's reading blog. And I haven't actually read a whole lot lately because I've been trying to work my way through this book, which isn't a long book at all. It's called Brain Briefs, Answers to the Most and Least Pressing Questions About Your Mind, from 2016 by Bob Duke and Arthur Markman, who are UT professors, really smart people. But I don't know, I think this book is like adapted from their podcast about like very basic psychology. I wouldn't say this book is like a must read if you've taken any intro to psychology course. It's very basic content, but approached in a really fun, really like engaging way, like very accessible and very accessible way. And so if you didn't have time to take Psych 1 in college, or you never took a psychology class, yeah, give this book a read. If you have, I don't know, you're probably fine. I would say the book really sacrifices depth of information for breadth. It talks about a lot of things for very short periods of time, so it doesn't really say anything super insightful, but it does, kind of talk about how cool psychology is. Like, no one can deny psychology is a cool thing. Can we give it up for psychology? That was almost Coby's minor. Fun fact. But he didn't finish. Anyways, so Brain Briefs here at Coby's Brain, we gave it a 6.5 out of 10. So, not a great review, but, you'll probably like it if you, are just trying to do a fun little book about some psychology facts. And we love brains here on Coby's Brain. We love talking about brains. Give it up for brains. Last but not least, we are going to be transitioning to Coby's Thought Blog, where we're going to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is Rotten Tomatoes. So everyone, uses Rotten Tomatoes to, determine if a movie is worth their time or not. And basically, Rotten Tomatoes has, even more so than IMDb, I think, has kind of become the go-to, like, educational source on whether or not a movie is going to be good. And I've honestly found its reviews to be like pretty compelling, pretty useful, which is pretty much all you can hope for. And their system is really interesting, and it's less Rotten Tomatoes that we're talking about, and more the system that they have for generating its ratings, which is basically it has a ton of people say, was this movie good or was it bad? So it's basically what we do here on Coby's Brain, right? You get a boo if your rating is under 7.5 on his scale, and you get an applause if it's above a 7.5. And so it's kind of interesting. It's like you look at those numbers, and it's kind of it's interesting because a 7.5 gets the same rating as a 9.9. So is some nuance missing from that? Yeah. But so yeah, nuance is missing in the individual nodes that assess whether or not the movie was good. However, you get a sufficiently large number of those nodes, and you get some really compelling information. But I guess the only weird bug, I guess, in that kind of system would be like an average show that's like really average, and everyone's like, okay, this is okay. Everyone agrees that it's like an okay show. That's going to get a great rating because it didn't piss anyone off enough to say this is bad. So it's tough to say whether this is the best way to assess like the quality of a movie or a TV show, but I find it works pretty well. I think people really like the reviews that Rotten Tomatoes gives you, as opposed to something like IMDb, which is, just kind of like less like of a democracy. So I don't know. I'm going to continue to think about this system, especially because it's relevant to Coby's Brain, which is kind of a review show during every other week. So continuing to think about systems of accurately assessing aesthetic quality of entertainment content. All right. That is our show, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Coby's Brain loves you. And we'll see you again soon.